got to keep talking about it because one will argue Lehman should have never went down. Another will argue it should have. Bill Bartmann is here with us to talk about all that right now. We have a big anniversary, sir, and you know everyone looks back on this and says, why did the government force Lehman to file for bankruptcy when we saved Bear Stearns, we sort of saved Fannie and Freddie, we put them in receivership, but then there was WAMU that was swallowed. I mean, you know, the government was schizophrenic at the time, right, making all these crazy decisions. Should Lehman have gone down in the first place?
Okay. Tracy, if you're asking me, the answer is no. It should not have gone down.
So what happens? Have we learned anything from this? You know, because we saved AIG, which one would argue makes absolutely no sense, too. So, are we getting any kind of consistency out of our administration now?
No, and that's really the problem. We're not getting any clarity. We're not getting any consistency. The business world has no clue as to whether or not you are too big to fail or not too big to fail, or whether or not the risk-reward balance is going to stay where it belongs. So, quite frankly, we are in every bit as much concern right now as we were back in, October of 2008.
But how does this affect, you're out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I know how it affected us here on Wall Street. Actually, I could look out the window practically and see the Lehman Brothers office and remember watching those poor people carry their boxes out as they emptied their office and the place went down. But how did it affect the rest of the world?
Well, and this may come to a surprise, and I'll offer this as kindly as I possibly can, but most people outside of New York didn't notice.
See?
Now I've spent my entire life building businesses, and any time a business closes down and employees lose their job, that's a travesty of the high order. But honestly, outside of New York and outside of Manhattan, there really wasn't a significant impact about Lehman closing down. There was more concern about the Caterpillar factory in Peoria, Illinois shutting down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that makes more sense to me, actually. And that's a product that many more people can understand, that's for sure. So we take Lehman down. Again, whether or not it should have been is just going into the history books. Did we learn anything from this? I mean, are we doing things differently because of what happened?
Well, I don't think we have. I think Wall Street and the banking industry per se probably has the shortest collective memory of any institution that's ever existed. I'm just not sure they have learned. I would hope that we all have learned a lesson, and that is that for risk and reward to stay in balance, both have to be in play. And when the government comes in and arbitrarily and capriciously decides who wins and who loses, that doesn't give any of us any certainty.
But I was trying to think of the things we've learned or the things we haven't learned, and to me that's one of the things we have not figured out yet, how to rein in risk, right? Because you know there are people out there trying to figure out what the next hot game is, and that's what these guys do. That's what makes them smart, and that's what makes them wealthy.
Absolutely, and I'm absolutely in favor of reward. I'm in favor of smart people making smart decisions and making lots and lots of money. I'm perfectly good with that, as long as all those same smart people understand that there should be a risk that runs proportionate to the reward that they're about to get. Now, in the banking industry, in this case, in the Lehman instance, there was only reward and there was not risk until all of a sudden one day they just pulled the carpet out and said, oh, we're going to let you go, but by the way, we'll save Merrill, we'll save Bear, we'll find somebody to buy WAMU, we'll find somebody to buy IndyMac, we'll do all these other things, but you at Lehman Brothers, no, we're just not going to be there for you.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it in hindsight, even AIG, you got to throw AIG on the list too. That we saved them, right? And we're still saving them day after day after day, and we'll probably keep saving them. My kids are going to end up paying for them as well. We haven't seen jail time. We haven't seen a perp walk. We haven't seen anything from this. Do you think we're going to ever?
No. I think the Department of Justice has already taken their whack. They filed a couple of indictments. They didn't get a conviction. They actually got 2 acquittals. I think we've seen the last of any criminal prosecution for what has been the greatest meltdown in financial history of the world.
The financial reform, the new financial regulations put into place, do you think they're going to prevent something like this from happening again?
I think we could be optimistic and hope, but quite frankly, if history is any lesson, we shouldn't have a lot of optimism. Now, if President Obama appoints Elizabeth Warren, whether we like that or not, whether we agree with her or disagree with her, she is going to take action. And if she takes action, maybe in the clarity of what's going to come next, there will be some guidance for the future.
You know, we still don't know what to do with Fannie and Freddie. We still really, right? We still don't know what to do with the rating agencies. So I'm not sure why those things weren't tackled, because those were a big part of the reason Lehman went down in the first place.
Oh, they were the reason that Lehman went down. I mean, let's cut through the political rhetoric of trying to be nice to people. Fannie and Freddie are an abomination. Fannie and Freddie were the problem. Fannie and Freddie was what caused all of it. Now, you can say other people had a role in this scenario, and they did. I mean, the homeowners across America had a role in it. Taxpayers had a role in it. Wall Street had a role in it. But for Fannie and Freddie, it would not have happened.
But yet we haven't fixed them. There's no discussion to fix them. So does that mean we're going to potentially see this again?
Yes. Yes. Well, you know, if we fail to learn the lessons of history, we're doomed to repeat those same mistakes. And right now, we continue to prop up Fannie and Freddie. We have the Treasury literally sitting in a $200 billion a year subsidy program. That isn't what the market needs. That isn't what the market's going to call for. We need to take the pill and literally get this problem over with. We're going to end up exactly where Japan did. We're going to lose a decade of sitting here toying with an economic disaster. Somebody needs to do something other than throw more money at obsolete institutions that no longer serve the purpose.
But yet we keep doing it, right? I think it was Albert Einstein that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, which would mean that my three kids are completely insane because they are so methodical in what they do. But we're chasing bubbles. We're giving Fannie and Freddie money. We're probably going to give, I mean, we're going to give somebody money. We're going to start giving the states money, that's for sure. So, I mean, what are we doing?
Well, we're right back to the path we were on 5 years ago. Now, we all know what happened 2 years ago, but let's go back 3 years earlier and see what caused us all to crash out in 2008. And so what we have now, we have Fannie and Freddie with the FHA literally giving 100% loans again. Well, what part of that don't they remember that's causing the crisis the last time? We're repeating the very same mistakes.
Yeah, that's comforting. I don't even know what to say. Bill Bartmann, thank you so much. Out in sunny Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you're right, you probably could care less that Lehman went down. Caterpillar, way